then, I always have my ways. It's just a question of how crafty I need to be. To the outsider, the realm of consciousness is a very abstract concept. Luckily, I'm A's familiar, so I can sense her rough whereabouts. In other words, even though I can't pinpoint the exact spatial location of this realm, I can still send you to where A is.
So, it's abstract, but has a location, but you don't know where it is, but you can still send us there. What?
Yes, no need to try and understand it. Let me put this simply. Right now, she is surrounded by chaos. Everything is turbulent and disordered. If you try to force your way in, you could be swept away by a giant wave that sets you down in an unknown corner of space-time. This is precisely why when entering the plane of euthymia, it's much safer if you place your consciousness in a physical object first.
What? Alright, well, time on staying here then. You two can go in.
Suit yourself. Worst case scenario, all we stand to lose is A. So what's the big deal?
You... Paimon had it up to here with both of you! Fine! Paimon's coming too.
Oh. Well, if you're quite sure, then of course. Now, I shall send you on your way. I say... Oh, nothing. It just seems extraordinarily chaotic, that's all. My suspicions have been confirmed. By the way, remember to focus constantly on your heartfelt wishes when you enter inside. Only a strong enough will can prevent you from being swallowed by the giant waves of abstract space. Only if you are strong enough can I deliver you to the right destination. Well then, the door's open. Hop on in. I'll stay outside and provide what stability I can. I'll be ready to respond if anything happens. I'm placing my god in your capable hands. For my sake, and for Inazuma's, please. Bring her back.
Miko, you better know what you're doing!
That's enough chatter. Get to work. Remember to focus constantly on your heartfelt wishes when you enter inside. Only if you are strong enough can I deliver you to the right destination.
Huh? How can this be? You have returned. But how were you able to get back in? And how come you have not changed at all in all these years? This is a duel to remember. It is as if we have returned to the moment when the laws of eternity were first established. Your will today is as strong as it was back then. Over countless battles, not once have you lost, and never have you shown the slightest hesitation. Had I made all enemies of eternity stand against you, you still would not have wavered. For your firm commitment to enforcing the rules, you have my admiration, too. You bring honor to the title of Guardian of Eternity. Now these two return once more to this space. An inevitability of fate, perhaps. Then, let this be our final duel, the conclusion to that which began 500 years ago. Final duel? Huh. So you're finally willing to... Stand back, traveler. I'm going to be the start of something new. The time our duels took to fight was long enough to witness the rise and fall of nations. The energy they consumed, great enough to vaporize the oceans and turn day into night. And the will they demanded, sufficient to penetrate minds and crush dreams. Yet, you have endured. I will endure forever. The will I carry within me will never be eroded nor destroyed. Purge all obstacles. This is the end. You have won. I believed you were incapable of transcending the past. But it seems my belief was baseless, and I underestimated your spirit. But a will that cannot be eroded has no way to embrace the future. You need not worry about the future, and you aren't alone. I know your power more than anyone else. Had I relied upon my strength alone, I would have lost this duel for sure. Yet, my reason for fighting redefined my martial prowess and redrew my limits. I now carry the gaze of the myriad of expectant eyes that look to the light in the heavens. And whenever I think of this, I feel something stirring within Musou Ishin. The blade that I inherited from Makoto seems to be trying to guide me, to encourage me. I noticed it also. Just now in the heat of battle, it seemed to unleash a new and unfamiliar power. This power is beyond the limits of my understanding. This blade belonged to Makoto. Perhaps it can only respond to me with its full power when I truly understand and believe in her. When I clasped Musou Ishin in my hands, I had the feeling that she was by my side once again. It was at once a familiar feeling and a strange one. Makoto barely wielded a blade in her life, and yet her blade brings me closer to her. You have my approval. Your present will is not the product of erosion. I shall no longer stop you from attempting to modify the rules. From this day forth, this body will remain your assistant. I won't design any more rules that can never be changed. You used to represent my past, but from today onward, you are me. Makoto never saw me as a fearless weapon. Likewise, I should not regard you as a mere tool. You truly have changed. I suppose this is what humans call growth. I understand. I shall become your shadow, just as you were once Makoto's shadow. The duties I perform will not change. But as a warrior, I look forward to the chance to fight like this again in the future. Do you say this because you have not yet reconciled yourself with your defeat? It was simply a new experience for me. One that is worth reliving.
Have you finished fighting then? Like, for real this time?
Hello, A. And greetings, those who have come to bear witness. I am Raiden Makoto, the previous Electro Archon, who failed in my duties and left you all to pick up the pieces. Makoto? I'm so happy. You've come so far. I always knew you would make it here in the end. I left a faint fragment of my will in Muso Ishin, so that in the moment that you unleashed its full power, I too would be released. A convoluted way to reach you, but... well, you held such deeply entrenched views at the time that you wouldn't have listened to a word I said. There was no time to wait for you to have a change of heart. Please forgive me. All I could do was find some way to wait until you came to me. But... you never mentioned this to me. Everything happened so suddenly. I'm sorry. I've always felt terrible for having to entrust Inazuma to you all of a sudden. I should have been the one to impart these ideas to you, a little at a time, to dissuade you from your pursuit of stillness. Did you know what was about to happen in Conria? I had some sense of it. That place was not somewhere that any Archon could afford to ignore. In my present form, I can no longer perceive time. I don't know how long we have been separated before this reunion, and I don't know what Inazuma has experienced in the meantime. But I know that this must have been an extremely arduous journey for you. And I'm sure you must have wanted to shed tears many times along the way. Don't look down on me. See? You admit it. It was with this possibility in mind that I left a parting gift for you. Something to soothe Inazuma's pain. Here, take it, before my last shred of consciousness fades away. But it is you who must take the most important step.
The light turned into a seed?
The miracle tree that blesses the people, in this moment new to the world and yet to be known. When to plant it, where it shall bloom. She who brings it into being must let her heart and dreams decide. Grant it life, eh? Is it really? Eternity extends time into infinity. Dreams illuminate each moment within. When both shine in unison, the sacred Sakura blooms from the darkness, finally free from the clutches of the heavenly principles. Now the nightmare has dissipated, and reality is made whole. The vision we both yearn for is still further ahead. My only regret is that I cannot witness Inazuma's future. Nor can I walk this journey with you. Do you know, A? I am so happy right now, because my final wish has now come true. Your polearm once protected me from countless calamities. For this, I've always felt indebted to you. Though I could never repay you in full, this sacred Sakura will buy you some time until you are ready to awaken and embrace the new. What do you think? Did it do the trick? This time, it really is goodbye. A. Goodbye, Makoto.
So the A of the present planted the sacred sakura in the realm of consciousness, and it took root in the Inazuma of the past. No matter what you make of it, it's quite incredible.
All of this is thanks to Makoto's power. Her understanding of eternity is much more profound than mine. Eternity is a concept intimately connected with time. When you begin to touch on eternity, the concept of time becomes murky.
A place where time is meaningless and cannot be understood with ordinary logic. So that was the turbulence I was sensing. Perhaps that is the reason why you were able to return precisely to this point in time without any problems. And yet, that sense of disorderliness has now completely disappeared.
I don't fully understand yet. But my intuition tells me that the reason for everything, it's that seed.
Well, I'm not convinced that it was Makoto's power alone.
I know what you mean. Perhaps a higher power really was involved in all of this. But whatever the explanation, her solution is what saved us all. Without the sacred Sakura, Inazuma would likely have been completely swallowed up centuries ago by that disaster and the filth.
I know you've always perceived there was something special about the sacred Sakura, but to me, it has always been there. You've tried in the past to prove to me that there's a connection between the sacred Sakura and Makoto's consciousness, but unfortunately, you never did persuade me, did you?
No, but I understand why now. It was because the sacred Sakura hadn't even been planted then.
But don't you think that tree looked a lot different than how it does now?
The sacred Sakura is within my purview at the shrine, so obviously I get to prune it exactly how I like it.
Ugh. Now we see who's pulling the strings.
I'm joking. That tree has been through a lot since it first sprouted. We have the loving care of Kitsune over the ages to thank for how it appears today. And obviously I played my part too. It's fair to say that very little time passed between the moment you came out of that realm and the moment you re-entered it. But in that same time, centuries of battling took place on the inside, did it not? Traveler, if I'm guessing correctly, you were repeating your wishes to yourself in your mind, weren't you? At that time, I could sense A's whereabouts, but I also sensed anomalies in the flow of time within that space. Suffice to say, time added a whole new dimension to our search. Simply establishing a location was not sufficient. Fortunately, your will was strong enough that the turbulence carried you to the moment in time most likely to be the intersection of all that you were wishing for. The flow of turbulence may well have been influenced by Makoto, but it took everyone's efforts combined to ultimately help A. So this time, it looks like thanks are due to you.
Does that mean it wasn't by chance that we ended up at the final duel? We were always meant to be there to witness what was going to happen?
I thought that the flow of time was the same on the inside and the outside. So it was a great shock to me when the traveler reappeared. My first thought was, has a great disaster befallen Inazuma? But it turned out you had come to rescue me. You came for my sake, to help me reach the best possible outcome. You too have my thanks. You have done much for me, and I will never forget it.
Hey, how are you feeling now?
My body has fully recovered, and the Shogun's will no longer fights against me.
Always thrilled to hear you're in good health. But I was really asking about your emotions. Have you managed to calm down? After all, you saw Makoto in there, didn't you?
I only heard her voice. I wouldn't say I saw her. I'll be fine. It brought a few things back, of course, but I've made my decision to move forward. I have to say, this has reminded me once again just how brilliant Makoto was. She predicted all the ways in which Inazuma's future could unfold, all the way back then. She even factored my immaturity into her plan. It's all thanks to her that Inazuma lived to see this day. I just planted a seed.
Yeah, it was thanks to everything you did that you got to see her again. That's amazing!
Thank you.
Today, at long last, you and Inazuma finally emerge from the shadows cast by the events of centuries past. Makoto and you are Inazuma's past and future, and both are indispensable.
It's rare to hear such comforting words from you. I graciously accept them.
Oh, come on. You only think it's rare because you never used to listen to a word I say.
Makoto said the exact same thing!
Great minds think alike, hmm? I wonder, does that qualify me to, maybe, take the position of Shogun for a couple of days? Actually, no. Forget that. Far more trouble than it's worth.
We will have to end the frivolities there. There is much work to be done. The Shogun and I will closely review the Inazuma of today to find out where things currently stand. Then, we will give careful consideration to the future. After that, I will abolish the Sakoku decree.
Really? That's huge news!
I am no longer pursuing an eternity defined by stasis. In which case, there is no further need to keep the nation under lock and key. I don't doubt that many challenges lie ahead for Inazuma. I'm looking forward to it.
This should be where Kokomi said to meet her. Do you still remember this place? Paimon remembers we came by here last time we visited Watatsumi Island. That was back when you did your stint as captain of Swordfish too. Paimon's curious whether the resistance troops still remember you. Things on the island must have changed a lot since then. Oh, shall we take a look around?
If the enemy outnumbers you, seek their weakness and exploit it. If you outnumber the enemy, seek unequivocal domination and crush them. Marauders on the waterfront are supplied by sea. Burning their ships is the path to success.
General Goro, sir, do you have a verdict?
More or less. From the directives left behind by Her Excellency, we can surmise that a Fatui ship is moored nearby. This explains their aggressive posture. We could split into two teams, one to draw their attention, and the other to circle around behind enemy lines and set fire to their ship. They'd have nowhere to run. Then again, Madame Kokomi made clear that we are not to split up without sufficient forces. We'd risk being picked off one by one until our whole line of defense disintegrated.
Sir, shall I send for reinforcements?
I doubt there's time. Based on their movements, they'd likely be gone before our troops arrived. Her Excellency's directives also stipulate that we should wait in ambush and avoid making the first move. Since we lack sufficient troops, I don't think we can afford to engage the enemy at this time.
Sir, we're just gonna stand by and watch them leave? Surely there must be another way.
Her Excellency's directives also state help may arrive when all seems lost. As for where this help is supposed to come from,
Hey, Goro! What are you guys up to?
Captain, you've returned to Watatsumi Island.
That's great! Her Excellency's directives are as reliable as ever. You've arrived just in time. Recently, the remnants of the Fatui forces have been unusually active. We've been monitoring their movements, waiting in ambush here. Unfortunately, we don't have the manpower to split into two teams. Can we ask you to keep them occupied?
Hard to say no when it's the Fatui. Whatever they're planning, we won't let them get away with it.
Good. There's not a moment to lose. We'll go behind enemy lines and sabotage their ship. Let's meet back here afterward. Watch yourselves. We'll be back shortly.
Seems like the Resistance still remembers us. Come on, let's help them get this situation under control.
Frozen.
Booba,
Crisp.
get them! Don't blink! Hey! Nowhere to hide!
Shouldn't get careless. Freshness preserved. Shield to the bone.
Didn't see that coming. Benny's adventure team. I have failed you.
This one's never done.
There's that! Off we go!
You need to hurry up.
Race you!
Let's not waste time. This one's
Speed
well
of light!
done. You need to hurry up.
Eat this! Nice and spicy! Don't be
Right idea from
water!
This one's well done. You need to hurry up.
Unfortunate fault.
Woohoo! Catch an epic wave!
Incoming! Adventure time!
Send this quickly! Let's move!
Nice and spicy.
Don't blink!
Let's ride.
Speed of light! With sword comes shadow.
Booba, get them.
Everybody stand back! Let's light it up!
Send this quickly!
Don't blink! Hey!
Carving waves. Let's shred, Sharpie.
Send this quickly!
Why do they never miss? Get out of here! Teamwork is true!
Out of the frying pan.
Nowhere to hide.
Send this
Need a
quickly!
surfboard? Take cover!
Almost.
You're toast.
Incoming! Hey! Got lucky that time.
Comrades! They've set the ship on fire! An arson attack! Curse them! What do you must no choice but to attack! Comrades, let's make them regret it!
I'm going in!
No excuse for slacking!
Don't blink!
Time to try work! Cover! Don't be a killjoy! Only just
Can't
begun!
afford any more bandages.
Check this out.
Can't run!
Speed of light. Hey! Cut to the chase.
Looks like I went too far.
Teamwork is dreamwork. Out of the way! Incoming.
Nice and spicy.
Counterattack!
Speed of light.
So quiet.
We were lucky to have you here. We'd have no way to prevent their escape without you.
What's that you're holding? Is it the directives from Kokomi? Let Paimon see. Oh, wow. This is a whole book. Is it all Kokomi's directives?
Yeah. Well, no, not all of them. I have 5 more volumes with me.
Are you serious?
Her Excellency always plans for every scenario. Plus, these are her general operational directives, which are more comprehensive than most. Still, we're fortunate to have them. They make sure we're prepared for every eventuality, no matter how complex.
Oh, understanding every eventuality sounds tiring enough, let alone writing them all down. Must have taken Kokomi a heck of a long time.
Captain, Are you back on Watatsumi Island to lead Swordfish 2 again? We've all been feeling your absence. Her Excellency says that now is a time of peace, and that we should reduce the size of the military and focus on helping the civilian population return to normal life. About half of us are still organized into task forces, supporting the platoons. The other half have been given various other functions like patrol, construction, and farming. Of course, not everyone's happy about it. The other day, an old buddy of mine was grumbling about being forced to build houses. Said they'd have to drag him away from the front line, kicking and screaming.
The spirit of the resistance is alive and well, huh? Anyway, we're here because Kokomi invited us to the victory feast. Do you know where we can find her, girl?
I believe Her Excellency is currently at Boro Village. There were reports of a possible disturbance over there. If I'm not mistaken, Her Excellency has gone to deal with it in person. We should probably get going ourselves. And, also, on your way over, please check in on the soldiers. I'm sensing a growing unease among them, but I don't know what's causing it. They won't say. They used to tell me all their concerns, but whatever this is, they're keeping it hidden. I don't like it one bit. I suspect there's trouble afoot.
Sounds good. Paimon was just thinking it'd be good to see everyone again. Ready when you are.
Wait, aren't you Captain of Swordfish too? Oh, it is you! Oh, you have our gratitude. Watatsumi Island wouldn't have come to peace without your efforts. I wasn't with Swordfish 2, but I did see you in Tatarasuna. Oh, you really gave it to those shogunate samurai in the fight of honor. Oh, it was quite the show. Is there anything you need from me? I'm at your service. On edge, you say? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've noticed it too. In fairness, the battle isn't long over, and, well, perhaps it isn't quite over for them. You know what I mean? Every single person looked death in the face that day. It's not an experience you forget in a hurry. Victory's declared, and all of a sudden, the fighting's over. But people can't just snap back into normal life again. I think things will improve, but it's gonna take some time. I don't know what else it could be, but what I do know is that as long as Her Excellency is with us, Watatsumi Island is safe. And all the more so now that you're back. Seriously, if there's ever anything you need, just say the word.
What a nice guy. Let's go ask some other people. Race you!
Peace at last. Living the dream.
Don't I know you? I've definitely seen you somewhere before. Can't place you, but I'm guessing you're not with the Shogun's army. So, do you need something? Unsettled? Unsettled how? I haven't noticed anything. Not that I would, necessarily. I keep to myself, mostly. They're all too rowdy for me. We're at peace now, finally, and I, for one, intend to make the most of it. My life right now is about two things and two things only. The sun and the sea breeze. Sorry that I can't be more help to you. I'll tell you someone you could ask, though. San Gonamiya. She knows everything.
Huh. Seems he's about to fall asleep. Let's leave him to rest and go find someone else to ask.
I don't understand what Her Excellency is thinking. I mean, peace talks? Give me a break. Why would she agree to that?
Exactly. Everyone knows you can't trust the Tenryou Commission. I heard they've been secretly coordinating with the Fatui and plan to continue their attacks.
Wait, for real? You're sure of this?
Positive. Some of our guys had a run-in with a few Fatui. They caught them conspiring together firsthand.
I knew it! The Tenryou Commission are a bunch of crooks. They'll never change. Honestly, it's kind of naive for Her Excellency to take them at their word, isn't it?
Shh, keep your voice down. Someone's coming.
Hey there! What you talking about?
Captain, you're back. Do you think we should tell the captain about what we were discussing just now?
No, let's not mention it. She's one of her closest advisors. For all we know, the peace talks could have been her idea.
I'm sure the captain would see where we're coming from, but you're right. We should probably play it safe. Welcome back to Watatsumi Island, Captain. Nothing to report here. Everything is A-okay.
Her Excellency should be in the village at present. Head straight over if you wish, Captain.
Paimon definitely detected some hush-hush going on there. But if they aren't gonna talk, we might as well head over to the village.
Decide whether pyrosines taste better with salt and pepper or garlic and herbs. whip one up in no time. If there's nothing better to do, we could go foraging for ingredients.
Admit it! We know you've been secretly supplying the Tenryou Commission with goods purchased on Watatsumi Island. I knew something was off about a Tenryou Commission merchant doing business here. So, what do you have to say for yourself, huh?
I'm innocent.
Ha! You're as guilty as they come. You never should have been allowed to set foot on this island, let alone do business here. Take him away.
Wait! Kokomi, there you are! Something's going down over here. You should take a look, pronto!
Your Excellency, this merchant is suspected of criminal activity, so we seized him for questioning. Our surveillance shows that in his whole time here, he has made numerous purchases, but no sales. And yet he has no stock in his possession. We believe it's highly probable that he has been supplying the Tenryou Commission behind the scenes.
I haven't.
That will do. Let's not let ourselves get too worked up here, shall we? Everyone take a deep breath with me. In and out. Better? Matsuda, Uchimura, I understand that you're concerned for the safety of Watatsumi Island. But before we make any decisions over whether this merchant is guilty or not, we must give him the chance to explain himself. If he's guilty, of course, there will be consequences. But if he's innocent, he doesn't deserve to be falsely accused. This is Watatsumi Island. We deal in facts, not opinions. Excuse me, sir. As you know, my subordinates have some concerns surrounding your commercial activity here. Perhaps you could explain your side of the story to help me reach a verdict.
Of course, I can explain everything. I'm a trader on the island, so naturally I built up some inventory. I was planning to hold off on selling until the prices went up, but then, but then I was robbed by the Fatui. They took everything. Now, you think about that. First I lose all my inventory, then I get treated like a criminal.
And why should we believe you? So what? That doesn't prove they took his goods. And even if they did, it'll still end up in the Tenryou Commission's hands. They're in this together.
What? The Tenryou Commission are colluding with the Fatui now? This is the first I've heard of it. I suppose it is true. What's that got to do with me?
Would the Tenryou Commission start colluding with the Fatui after the fighting's already finished? Seems unlikely to Paimon. We met a representative of the Kujo clan recently. It doesn't seem like he'd have the time to be colluding right now. But on the way over here, we accidentally on purpose overheard some soldiers mention the exact same thing. Kokomi, do you know anything about it?
It has been brought to my attention, yes. We are scheduled to begin peace talks with the Tenryou Commission soon, the Kamisato clan has arranged for them to take place in a neutral location. Kujo, Sara, and I will be accompanied by our guards. We will use the talks to discuss future plans in detail. But just as arrangements for the peace talks began to fall into place, I started hearing rumors of collusion between the Kujo clan and the Fatui. Allegedly, their goal is to completely wipe out Watatsumi Island. If that's the case, then the peace talks are likely a trap. Even the Kamisato clan could be involved. Sir, are you quite certain that your goods were stolen by the Fatui?
Yes, it's the truth. I swear. They stole my goods and then they ran off that way. I'll bet that's where that hideout is.
Very well. The potential ramifications of this incident are serious. We will retrieve your goods, and if everything is in order, it will prove your innocence. However, if we find evidence to corroborate the claims of collusion between the Fatui and the Tenryou Commission, I expect you to fully comply with our investigation. Do we have an understanding?
Yes, of course. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Matsuda? Uchimura?
Well received, Your Excellency.
Good. Now, Traveler, Captain of Swordfish Platoon Section 2, would you join me in the investigation? Hattie, soldier. For the time being, at least, we are in peacetime. Besides, I'm sure you won't be on Watatsumi Island forever. Whatever titles we may have, we're friends first and foremost.
If we do find the merchant's goods in the hands of the Fatui, it'll prove he's innocent. Whatever's going on between the Fatui and the Tenryou Commission, we need...
Decide whether pyroslimes taste better with salt and pepper or garlic and herbs.
My lucky day. Let's get down to business. There's more!
What a bountiful harvest! Boba,
See no more!
get them! Incoming! Ha. With sword comes shadow. Ha.
To the very... Boom! Finally, No.
Off we go. Don't blink. Nice and spicy. Eat this. Nowhere to hide. Speed of light.
No escape!
Incoming.
Can't run from death.
This must be the Fatui camp that the merchant was talking about. From the looks of it, it used to be a Hilichurl camp. Who knows why the Fatui occupied it?
Looks pretty heavily guarded. How are we supposed to get in?
Not by brute force, that's for sure. But that's not a problem. The terrain here gives us an advantage, and we haven't given away our position so far. Our enemy is in the light, while we are in the shadows. Strategically, we have the upper hand. I think we have 3 options available. Option 1. Take the king, and it's checkmate. The Fatui's presence in Inazuma is weak at present. Nothing more than a few scattered remnants. If we strike from above and take down their leader first, the rest of them will be hard-pressed to put up a serious fight. Option 2. Hit them where it hurts. Over there, for example, a store of gunpowder cakes. If we manage to discreetly set the gunpowder alight without alerting them, it would deal them a devastating blow. They'd be caught completely off guard. Both their morale and fighting capacity would be severely impaired. Option 3. Use the environment against them. We're close to the sea here, so the air is very humid. I can gather the water vapor, you add a touch of lightning, and together we can shock them into submission.
Wow, that's our grand strategist. It's a lot to think about, though. Which option should we choose?
That will depend on our assessment of our own abilities. A surprise attack from the air is the quickest solution, but requires superior combat skills. With an explosion, we could rapidly reduce their numbers without a protracted battle, but absolute stealth would be required during the operation, or we'd risk exposing ourselves. If we decide to take advantage of the environment, we should be prepared for a lengthy siege. So, which is your preferred option? It seems that you share my strategic sensibilities. This is my preferred tactic. It places us in the least amount of danger. Let's work together to give them the surprise of their lives.